Two buyers, same $90,000 salary, same city, both pre-approved by the same bank for the exact same big number. One of them buys right at the very top of what the bank offered. The other buys far below it, on purpose. 5 years later, one is house poor and quietly drowning, and the other is comfortable and steadily building wealth. Same income, same houses on the same street. And the difference came down to one number the bank will never actually tell you. Because the amount a bank approves you for and the amount you can truly afford are two completely different numbers. The bank's number is the most you can technically pay every month before you default. The real number is the most you can pay and still have a life. And almost nobody is ever taught the gap between the two. Meet Ryan, who bought the house the bank said he could. And meet Nina, who bought the house the math said she should. Same salary, $90,000 a year, same town. Watch what that single decision did to each of their lives. Start with Ryan. Ryan got pre-approved for $450,000, and it felt like a green light, like the bank had run the numbers, checked everything, and officially decided he could handle it. So he bought a house right at the top of that approval. His mortgage, once you add the taxes and the insurance, swallows about 42% of his take-home pay every single month. And that is the quiet trap. Technically, Ryan makes the payment every month, but there is almost nothing left after he does. No real vacations, no emergency fund, barely any investing. One broken furnace or one slow month at work, and the entire thing starts to wobble. Ryan owns a beautiful house and almost nothing else. If we are honest, the house actually owns him. You can see it in the smallest ways. Ryan says no to dinners out, keeps driving the same old car he meant to replace, and feels a small flash of panic every time the mailbox has a bill in it. From the outside, he looks like he made it. From the inside, he is one surprise away from real trouble, every single month. Now here is the number the bank quietly skips. A genuinely safe housing cost is somewhere around 28% of your gross income. All in, the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, everything together. Past that line, you are not really buying a home anymore. You are renting your life to a lender. The bank will happily approve you to 40% or more because their risk and your freedom are two completely different things. Now look at Nina. Same $90,000 salary, qualified for the same big number. But Nina bought a $300,000 house instead, well under what the bank would have handed her. Her total housing cost sits at around 26% of her income. She lives essentially the same life Ryan does, just in a slightly smaller house, with a completely different financial reality underneath it. And with the gap she deliberately kept, Nina maxes out her retirement account, holds a real emergency fund, and still takes the vacation every year. Her smaller house quietly made her richer. Same income, same city, same exact year. One decision at the closing table, and two completely different futures. And that gap does not just sit there doing nothing. The money Nina did not pour into a bigger mortgage gets invested instead, quietly compounding year after year. Give it a decade, and the smaller house has not just made her life easier. It has quietly made her tens of thousands of dollars richer than Ryan, who technically bought the more impressive home. And here is what truly sinks the people who only ever look at the monthly mortgage. A house is not just the payment. It is property tax, it is homeowner's insurance, and it is maintenance that quietly runs about 1 to 2% of the home's value every single year. On a $450,000 house, that is thousands of dollars a year that have nothing to do with the loan, and that the bank's shiny pre-approval letter completely ignored. And if you put down less than 20%, you get to pay mortgage insurance on top of everything, money that protects the bank and does absolutely nothing for you, stacked onto the bill every month until you slowly claw your way back to 20% equity. The less you put down, the more house you can technically buy, and the more of your future you quietly hand straight to the lender. Quick, honest note before we go further. None of this is financial advice. It is just the way the math actually works. Your city, your rates, and your life are entirely your own. Now, back to it. Because there is one more number that moves all of this more than anything else. And that number is the interest rate. The exact same $300,000 house costs wildly different amounts at 3% than it does at 7%. Sometimes hundreds of dollars a month different. When rates are high, the honestly affordable price quietly drops, even when the bank's approval number does not. The smart buyer lowers the price to match the rate. The poor buyer just stretches a little further and hopes. So here is how you find the number the bank will never give you. Take your gross monthly income, multiply it by 0.28. And that is your ceiling for total housing cost, everything included. Then work backwards from that ceiling to a price, counting the taxes and the insurance, not just the loan itself. And here is the part that actually matters. Buy comfortably under that ceiling, not right at it. Leave yourself real room to live. And you can genuinely feel the difference between these two. Ryan checks his bank account before almost every small purchase, because the house quietly ate his entire margin. Nina barely thinks about money at all, because she left herself a cushion completely on purpose. The bigger house did not make Ryan's life bigger. It quietly made it smaller and tighter and a lot more anxious. So the real flex in 2026 is not buying the most house the bank will possibly allow. It is buying less house than you can afford, deliberately, and keeping the entire difference for your actual life. A slightly smaller home and a dramatically larger life is the one trade almost nobody brags about at dinner, and almost everybody secretly wishes they had made. And this is the rule that quietly wealthy people actually follow. They treat the bank's approval as a ceiling to stay well below, never a target to hit. They buy the house that fits the life they want to keep funding, not the one that impresses the neighbors for a single weekend. The home is supposed to serve the life, not slowly consume it. So before you fall in love with the big number the bank hands you, sit down and run your own real number first. Tell me in the comments. Just type the word room if this changed how you see it. And if you want the next breakdown, the one on whether you should even buy at all or simply keep renting, it is waiting for you right now. I read every single one.